All right, perfect. We're in the mix, guys. Welcome to the call, everybody. Again, this is how we started every single week. If this is your first call, this is how we get down. We love hearing everybody's success. We love good energy, and then after that, we jump into a good training on mentality, mindset, the things that are needed to become a great trader, a great businessman, a great businesswoman, a great leader of your family, whatever the case may be. Everything that we talk about on these calls are applicable outside of just business. They're applicable to sports. They're applicable to every single area of your life. But on this particular call, I think that it's the perfect time to do something like this. I think it's the perfect time where people are trying to figure out, how can I do this? How can I do that? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But before we talk about it, I want you to drop, right? I want you to be honest, and I want you to drop some of the challenges that you face inside of your business, whether you're facing them right now or you faced them before. Just start dropping them in the chat box, because I'm about to give you an answer to every single problem. Energy, negative people, locking in, keeping my mentees focused, leg balancing, building relationships, communication, building, confidence, consistency, being in my own way. That's a good one. Rejection, discipline, closing, building, relationships, negative energy, patience, consistency, marketing, leadership, inconsistency. All right, perfect. I got a secret for you. Here's the secret. The problem that you think is the problem is not the problem. The problem that you think is the problem is not the problem. But when you begin to think that it's a problem and you talk about it as if it's a problem, you think about it as if it's a problem, you create a problem when there was never a problem. The problem that everybody faces in the business has nothing to do with people not signing up, has nothing to do with people leaving the business, it has nothing to do with people being inconsistent, right? It has nothing to do with people not being focused. That's the cover up. That's what we think the problem is. But the problem comes down to one word, and that one word is momentum. Momentum solves 80% of all the challenges that you're going to face in your business. All the challenges that you're going to face in your life, momentum solves it. It's all about momentum. Momentum basically means mass in motion, people in motion, an object in motion. So first of all, for us to have momentum in our business, is gonna need to be a mass of people. So the first thing you got to understand is momentum comes from people, and the people have to be in motion. Momentum comes from people, and the people have to be in motion, because momentum means mass in motion, mass meaning a lot, or mass meaning an object in motion. So for us to have momentum, for us to solve our problems, it's going to take us, number one, this is the first point, understanding the value of momentum. Before you can create momentum, you first have to understand the value of it. It's not just momentum. No, it's momentum. There's a value that comes with the word momentum. And if you think about a train, we all understand how fast the train can go. We understand that when the train is moving at its fastest pace, it can run through a 5-foot concrete wall, steel reinforced. It can run right through it. But that same train, that same exact train without momentum, when the train starts to, when the train begins to go, and you have two-foot cinder blocks in front of each wheel, the front wheels, that same train that can run through a brick wall, concrete steel wall, can no longer move. And it's not because of the problem that's in front of it. It's not because of the challenge that's in front of the train. It's because the train doesn't have any momentum. So when you look at your organization, it's not that, oh, people keep falling out of this leg of business, that's why I can't hit my rank. It's not that. The problem is I don't have any momentum in this leg of business. It's not, nobody's signing up. No, I have to create the momentum in the business. We're going to get into that in a second. But you first got to understand that the problem is never the problem. It's not, oh, this person has an attitude, or this person isn't doing this, or, nobody's joining, nobody's signing up, nobody's launching. No, that's not the problem. That's a facade. That's a cover up. The problem comes down to one word, and that one word is momentum. Because when momentum is present, when momentum is there, problems disappear. When momentum is there, you don't have any problems. People call me frequently. Leaders, people that's just in the organization, they call me frequently, and they call me about a challenge. I'll just use Jada, right? Jada's, we all know Jada, she's the most coachable person around, right? So she won't mind me using this example, but she called me recently about a challenge that happened in her business. I'm like, Jada, that doesn't matter. Just go get some new people. It doesn't matter. And so if you have any challenges in your business, it's not a challenge. The challenge is, how do I create that new momentum? How do I create so much momentum where I don't care about who's leaving the business? How do I create so much momentum that I don't care about who left to go do this? How can I create that much momentum? But before you can do that, you got to understand the value of it. See, in sports, when a team has momentum, to stop the momentum, guess what the other team does? The other team calls a timeout because they want to distract from the momentum. So there's going to be some distractions that's going to distract you from your momentum. And you got to know that when this distraction comes, it's only to knock you off the momentum. See, I play sports, so that's why I love using sports analogies. And I know what it feels like to be on defense and you're stopping the opposing offense. I know what it's like to be on offense, and everything you throw, it's a first down. Every time you run the ball, you're getting 5 to 10 yards. And the defense, right, or the opposing team, they have to call a timeout to stop the momentum. They have to stop what's in motion because they understand that if I don't stop the momentum, the team is going to score. Basketball, when the team gets flowing, LeBron James gets flowing, when Kobe gets flowing, when he used to get flowing, the coach will have to call that timeout to stop the flow, to stop the momentum. So there's going to be distractions to stop you from your momentum. But you got to understand that the distraction is not a problem. It's a cover-up. You got to stay in momentum. You have to stay in momentum because when there's no momentum, it takes so much energy and effort and tenacity to start the momentum. But you know what's even worse? Having negative momentum, having people that's negative, having people that are doing the complete opposite of what you're doing. Now you got to stop them or solve this issue, get the momentum turned around to go the opposite way. So it's like a train going backwards, and then we got to stop the train from going backwards, and then we got to start the train to go the other way. That's worse than having no momentum at all, right? But understand that it's extremely hard to start it, right? But here's what you got to understand. It's not your job in the business. It's not even your job in life to solve problems. It's not your job. See, if you identify yourself as a leader, your job is to never solve a problem. You know who solves problems? Managers. They solve problems. You know what leaders do? Leaders find ways to create momentum so we don't even see the problem. That's what it's about. See, when a player gets hurt on the team, they don't look at it and say, oh man, my top guy is out. No, they put somebody else in, and that person continues to run the play. That person continues to play the game. Because we can't try to solve the problem. We can't try to figure out what his injury is. That's somebody else's job. As the leader of the team, I got to put somebody else in and somebody else got to go. So it's never your job to solve a problem. You figure out, how do I create momentum so that if this problem comes again, I don't even realize it. But number two, the second point you got to know is that momentum starts with you. That's so good. Momentum starts with you. See, if you're a leader, you're a platinum 600, you're a platinum 1000, platinum 2000, and you're looking for somebody else to create the momentum in the organization, you got a problem. You have a huge problem because it starts with you. It's your responsibility as the leader to have the vision. It's your responsibility to have the passion, be willing to suffer for the vision, and it's your job to bring the energy and enthusiasm every single day. Here's why. Because you cannot kindle a fire in somebody else's heart until there's a fire burning in your own heart. You cannot kindle a fire in somebody else's heart until there's a fire burning in your own heart. So that's why you got to bring the excitement. You got to bring the energy. You got to bring the vision. You got to bring the passion. Because as you begin to do that, guess what everybody else does? They begin to wake up. They began to activate because the leader has began to move. The leader has began to take action. The person with the influence has began to influence everybody else. See, that's what your role is as a leader. You got to influence people into action. And it starts with you getting in action yourself. That's why you as a leader doing the activity is so important to your success. Because you got to be a tour guide in this business. You have to be able to go the way, but you got to be able to show the way as well. I talked about it last week. A leader has a magnet in their heart, but a compass in their hand. I attract people to me and I show them where to go. I show them step by step how to do what it is that needs to get done. But if I haven't done it, I can't show anybody how to do it. So if I don't start the ball, if I don't start pushing the ball, I'm not going to have anybody come help me push the ball, because they're going to look at me and they're going to say, if you're the leader, you got to start pushing it first and we will come follow you. Because remember, leadership is influence. So as you start pushing the ball forward, as you start moving the pendulum, guess what everybody else does? They follow you, the leader, the person that has the influence. So if you want to create momentum in your organization, you have to be the one that brings the excitement, the passion, the vision, the action, the activity, the work, the grind, the tenacity, the focus, the growth every single day. It's so important that you do that. It's so important that you as a leader create momentum in the area of growth, because growth is the only way to guarantee that tomorrow gets better. Growth is the only way to guarantee that my results get better. Growth is the only way to guarantee that you become successful. It's guaranteed through your growth. Commitment to continuity will produce emotional stability. If I make that commitment to pursue growth and get better every single day, I'm not focused on the results. I'm focused on my development. I was having a talk with Tay Morgan yesterday at my home, and he said, listen, I know I'm going to be successful because I'm focused on growing every single day. And I said, absolutely. That's all I've done. I've never cared about the results. I've just focused on growth because I knew if I got better, I'll get the result. I knew if I got better, I will be seen. I wasn't focused on talking about it. I was just focused on growing. I was focused on putting in the work. I was focusing on developing the skill sets. Because if you don't do that, your organization won't do that. So you got to understand that momentum starts with you. Because you as the leader, you have to believe in what you believe in so much. You have to believe in the vision so much, because remember, it's the leader's responsibility to have the vision. It's the leader's responsibility to have the vision. So you got to have a vision for your life, right? But you also got to have a vision for your organization, what you want to get done, because this is where momentum starts. It doesn't start by, just people joining the group chat. That's not momentum. Momentum is people are joining the group chat, they're getting results, they're launching, and they're ranking up. So if I bring in 30 people in the month of May, I don't know if I have momentum until June gets here, until July gets here. That's where I figure out if I have momentum. Is not, I just brought in 15 people to my org this month, or 40 people to my org this month, or whatever the number is. It's about what happens over the next 2 or 3 months. Because if I brought in 70 people this month, 60 people this month, that means if I have momentum, the next month, there should be 100 plus joining the business. Because the new people that have joined, they have walked into the success environment and they want to have success. That's your job as a leader, to create that, right? The next point, number 3, you got to figure out the motivating factors, or the momentum button for you first. You got to figure out your momentum button, right? And what I mean by momentum button, number 1, what's your why? Why are you doing this? What's that why that'll break you down if you got to talking about it too emotionally? You got to talking about that why passionately. What is going to break you down? What do you cry about? Because this all plays a part in momentum, right? And then number 2, what brings you excitement? What brings you excitement? What gets your blood pumping? What makes you just want to get into a flow? What brings you excitement? Then number 3, what do you dream about? What do you dream about? When you close your eyes, what do you see? What do you see when you close your eyes? What's that dream that's deep in your heart? What is it? Begin to really think about that. It's so important. Let me get these lines out. It's so important that you understand that. 1 second. All right, perfect. It's so important that you understand your why. What brings you excitement and your dreams, goals, and aspirations? Because when you figure out your motivation, that's going to create momentum. Yep. See, what motivates people is what creates momentum in people. Because remember, momentum always starts with us first. It doesn't start with the group first. It doesn't start with your team first. It starts with you first. All right. So you got to know what makes you tick, what makes you cry, what's that why that you're so passionate about, what brings you excitement and joy, and ultimately, what do you dream about? When you close your eyes, what do you see? Where do you want to go? Because again, whatever motivates you is going to create momentum inside of you. But here's the deal: momentum obviously comes from motivation. But when motivation fades, when motivation disappears, when motivation isn't there, you know what has to take its place? Inspiration and discipline. Inspiration and discipline has to take motivation's place when it's not there, because you're not going to feel motivated every day. See, that's the thing about success. You don't feel motivated every single day. Every day I'm not motivated, right? But I'm so inspired and I'm so disciplined. That's what keeps me focused on my goals. I'm not motivated every single day to wake up at 7:23 in the morning and go to workouts. That I don't get motivated for that. But I do it out of discipline. I do it because I believe that one day I'm going to be on magazines. I'm going to be on TV shows. I'm going to be on publications. And when I get there, I want my suits to fit a certain way. So that's my motivational factor for working out every single day. You gotta know what motivates you, because when you know what motivates you, that'll create momentum inside of you to go do the things that you really don't want to do. But you know what you also got to know? What are your demotivating factors? What takes away from you being motivated? Also, look at your organization. What are the demotivating factors in your organization? Is it people? Is it people's negative energy, people's negative emotions, people's pride, people's ego? Like, what are the demotivating factors of your organization? What are your personal demotivating factors? But what are the demotivating factors of your whole entire organization? Because when you know what the demotivating factors are of your organization, you can now begin to cut and then continue to focus on creating momentum. Because remember, our job is not to solve a problem. It's not our job to solve it. But guess what? The number one responsibility of a leader is identify the reality. So it's not our job to solve it, but we still got to recognize that it's a challenge. We still got to recognize the challenge is there, and we don't solve it by trying to figure it out. We solve it by just creating momentum. We solve by bringing in new blood. That's how we solve it. So you got to understand what the demotivating factors are for you to create momentum, because momentum first starts from motivation. People in your organization have to be motivated. That's why you as a leader, you have to listen. The indispensable quality of a leader is being able to cast a compelling vision. That's the most indispensable quality of a leader. You have to be able to cast a compelling vision. Your vision has to be so vast that people just want to get involved with what you're doing. Your organization just wants to be a part of the vision. That's why the vision has to be clear. You got to know what you want. That's why, again, momentum in your organization, it starts with you. And the hardest thing, guys, is to create the momentum. But it's not even hard. It's just you showing up every single day consistently and not caring about the result. You have to get locked in on just, I'm going to get better every day. That's what you got to be locked. Like, I don't care about the results from trading. I just need to get better and consistent. I'm not worried about the money. I just don't want to I just don't want to blow this account. Just let me get better every day. Like, that's what you got to focus on. But when you focus on the results, when you focus on looking at everybody else's success, and you don't focus on just getting better, you're going to find yourself out of the ball game. You're going to find yourself out of the ball game, right? So you as the leader, guys, momentum, understand that it starts with you, and you got to understand the value of it, how powerful it is. Momentum makes everybody look better. Listen, momentum will make the leader look better, and momentum makes the followers look better. There's been seasons where I played in sports, and we weren't playing the best team, but the team came into the game with momentum. They didn't have the team that we had. They didn't have the coaches that we had. But because they had momentum, because they won some tough games, they thought that they could beat us. And sometimes they did because they had momentum. So momentum will make the coaches, the leader, and everybody look better. But it also makes the followers perform better. It makes the Platinum 600 just really start building a business. It makes the customer just wake up and say, man, how do I launch? How do I do, a three-way call? Like, where does that, where do I go to figure out this stuff? That's what momentum does. But see, when you don't have any momentum in your business, the person that's the customer, they're not thinking about building a business. They just want to trade because they don't see any excitement. So it's very important that you understand the value of energy, the value of personal activity, the value of enthusiasm, the value of being passionate and inspired, staying in activity mode, right? And then the next point, guys, you want to celebrate the wins. You got to celebrate the wins. It doesn't matter who's winning. Celebrate it. My question for you, serious question for you, how do you feel when somebody else gets blessed? Serious question. Like when somebody else gets blessed, how do you really feel? Because some people, they get jealous. Y'all realize that? Some people get jealous. Some people began to make excuses why that person is winning. Oh, they're winning because of this. Oh, they're only winning because of this. Oh, well, if it wasn't for this, they wouldn't be that. So the next time somebody hits a rank, the next time that somebody, has some success trading, I want you to just try to celebrate them. Like, really just try. Because whatever you celebrate gets repeated. Whatever you celebrate gets repeated. But see, it doesn't say who it gets repeated for. What if it got repeated for you? What if the same thing that you saw them did and you celebrated, it happened for you? What if because you began to celebrate other people's wins, your wins got accelerated? Because what if, this is just Riyadh having thoughts as I'm studying and just chilling and just chilling. What if before you got blessed, somebody else close to you or somebody in your atmosphere had to get blessed so that God can see how you reacted when they got blessed? And that determines if you got blessed. What if every single day you found ways to be excited? What if every single day you found ways to celebrate? What if every single day you found ways to repost flyers? What if every single day you found ways to get excited for somebody else that's not you? What if you did that? What if you did that? Because when somebody else gets blessed, one of three things are going to happen. When you get exposed to somebody having success, when you get exposed to somebody getting blessed, you're either going to become jealous, you're going to admire, or you're going to become inspired. It's a difference in all of them. when I get exposed to somebody having success, I'm going to get jealous, I'm going to admire, or I'm going to be inspired. Everyone has a difference. And see, what jealousy is just mismanaged exposure. That's all jealousy is. It's just mismanaged exposure. You got exposed to something and you didn't manage the exposure right. You were supposed to celebrate that exposure. You were supposed to be inspired by that exposure, not admired. There's a very big difference. I had some leaders at my home yesterday, and I was breaking down the difference to them. See, there's a difference between being inspired by somebody's success and admiring somebody's success. See, let me just read you the definitions really quick. Hey, babe, can you bring my laptop charger? I'm on 7%, and I can't die on my people. I can't die halfway to touchdown, right? So, admire. I need you to really listen to these definitions. I need you to really listen. Admire, regard with warm respect or approval. That's admire. That's the first definition for admire. The second definition of admire is to look at with pleasure. To look at with pleasure. Regard with respect or warm approval. To look at with pleasure. And it says in quotation, oh, we were just admiring your garden. That's admire. Inspire. To feel someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. See, when you admire somebody's success, you just look at it and say, man, look at all them chairmen breaking. That's another chairman. They just made what trading? That's dope. Oh, man, listen, that's so cool. And you just keep looking at everybody winning. You're just looking like, dang, everybody, that's all you talking about. Oh, everybody having success. You're just admiring it. But when you're inspired by what people are doing, that means you've been filled with the urge or the ability to do something, especially something creative. That's why you have to be inspired when motivation is gone. That's why I gotta be inspired when you see somebody's success, because when you're inspired, you're gonna be filled with the urge to go out there and do something creative, and that creativity is going to birth success. That creativity will birth success. That creativity will birth momentum. That's why you gotta be inspired. You can't just look at people have success. You can't just admire people's success. You gotta look at it and get inspired by their success, and your inspiration will show in your activity. Your activity will show if you're really inspired. Your creativity will show if you're really inspired by what you see happening. So you gotta understand the power, guys, of celebration and having the right energy. Man, I hate to pause, but give me 10 seconds. I need to grab my laptop charger. All right, gang, I'm back in the mix that fast. Yo, if you're getting value from the call, drop some 777s in the chat box. Drop some wind in the chat box. Let me know I'm vibing with you guys tonight. All right, perfect, because we're about to get ready to wrap up the call now. So, right, so number one, I got to understand the value, right? I got to understand the value of momentum. Before I can create momentum, I got to understand how important it is to have it and how my organization looks when I don't have it. See, when you don't have momentum, guys, problems look bigger than what they are. When you don't have momentum, right, you think everything that's happening is a challenge. It's not. You just don't have any momentum. So what's my next step? My next step is figuring out, how do I create momentum? Well, you got to know that momentum starts with me as the leader. And then I got to figure out my motivating factor, my momentum button. What's going to drive me? What pushes my button to activate? What do I cry about? What's my why? Right? What brings me excitement every single day? What do I dream about? What do I want to happen in my life? Right? Because it's what motivates the person that creates the momentum in the person. All right? What are the demotivating factors of your business? All right? And then ultimately, guys, you got to celebrate the wins. You got to celebrate the wins. Your wins, your team wins, other organizations wins. It doesn't matter. Find ways to just celebrate. Congratulations. Welcome. Lit. Celebrate, show excitement, because again, whatever you celebrate, you accelerate. Whatever you celebrate, it gets repeated. And what if it got repeated for you? Because this is what's going to increase the morale of the organizations by celebration, energy, excitement. Right? So, Jesus. Anywho, there you go. I had to get my burp out. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Excuse me. All right. So, I was doing some thinking today, doing some talking to God today, and I was just thinking about the word flow. This is where you want to brace yourself, because this hit me like a ton of bricks today. I was thinking about the word flow, and just the word flow is what was on my mind today. And you guys know that we did a call talking about getting the flow, and God spoke to me clearly, and He said, make sure they know that who has ever been in the flow, you're about to flow over. There's about to be an overflow. Who's ever been in the flow, it's about to flow over for you. There is about to be an overflow. And you got to believe. But here's the deal. Man, here's the deal. Just imagine getting that. Just imagine just sitting there, it's about to flow. Just imagine that. And then he spoke to me a little bit more. Right? He actually took me somewhere in the Bible. And I got 2 points for you about overflow. And I'm going to get to the announcement. The first point about overflow is that your overflow is tied to how thankful you are for what's in your hand right now. That's point number one. Your overflow is tied to how thankful you are for what's in your hand right now. The second point is that the overflow or the flow over, the overflow is not for you, it's for other people. So number one, your overflow is tied to how thankful you are for what's in your hand right now. Number two, the overflow is for others. That came to me as I'm reading the Bible today. And he took me to a story. I'm gonna be very quickly, because most of us on the line, pretty much all of us on the line probably heard it. The story of the carpenter from Galilee, the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread. Right? 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. There was a situation. There was a challenge. There wasn't enough food to feed. Basically, it's really 15,000 people. It says 5,000, but it's 5,000 men plus women and children. So 15, 20,000 people that were fed with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Whether you choose to believe the story or not, just get the point from it, right? So he asks his disciples, what do we have? He says, we have 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. So Jesus, the carpenter from Galilee, takes what's in his hand. This is so good. He took what was in his hand, 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, lack, not enough for everybody, not enough overflow at all. It's 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, talking about 15, 20,000 people. He takes it. He thanks God for it. He blesses it. And he has enough to feed every man, woman, and child. And he had enough to take with them on their journey. But you know what's so crazy about that story? He didn't do it one time. He did it twice. He did it twice. There was another time with 4,000 men and their families. A couple chapters later, did it again. Took what was in his hand. Thanked God for it. Blessed it. And gave it away. And there was enough, not just for the people that were there, but if they met anybody along the journey on their way back, guess what? They could have gave it away because they had an overflow of fish and bread because he was thankful for it, and then he gave it. So you got to understand that the overflow that you're about to experience, that you're about to walk into, right, is going to be tied to how thankful you are for what's in your hand right now, your business, your training account, your organization, your leaders, your locker room, thankful for it, bless it, and then understand that the overflow is not even just about you. It's going to be all the people that get blessed because you were serious about your life. So I'm excited, man. I can't even put it into words how I'm excited I am for every person on the line success and what we're walking into, man. Listen, this year so far, or the past roughly 60 days, I ain't gonna go there, but the past 60 days have been very supernatural if you haven't been taking notes. And guess what? It started with the word. It started with the set of words. It started with the vision. And we believe so big that people just start believing. And boom, things just start to happen. So again, it always starts with you. You got to create something. You got to be that driving factor. And you have to believe it so much that other people start to believe in it. And that's where the multiplication begins to happen. So listen, guys, I know we got people on the line wondering what is the announcement. So here's I'm gonna be real quick. On Saturday, from the flyer will be dropping tomorrow. Like he should have finished it before the call, but it'll be dropping tomorrow. So on Saturday, at the end of every single month, this is what we're starting in the organization. So this is not a one-time thing. This is going to continue forever, right, until we're done. This is going to be the tradition for what it is that we do for just having a great support system. So on Saturday, we're going to do the very first new trader experience. New trader experience. So what this is not new student orientation, but it's something like that. But the difference is every time we do this, there are going to be IML educators doing it. So on this particular Saturday, we have Orrin Wright, we have Stevenson Lindor, and we have Lizardo Tavares from Gold Cup. And we have Akil Bay, who's made over $10 million trading. That's on Saturday. And guess what? This cycle continues at the end of every single month. So now, how do you capitalize on this? How do you capitalize on this? Because we're talking about creating momentum. So number one, you got to make sure all your new customers, everybody that's new in the business, they number one got to be on the call. But number two, if you're really serious about your business, you know who you have on the call? You'll have people you got to follow up with, and you're going to have prospects on the call because you want them to be able to see the type of platform that they're going to have access to. Every educator knows that everything that they teach about is going to be broken down for a new trader to understand it. Are they going to go in depth? Absolutely. But it's still going to be broken down where the freshest person that's just joined the organization on Friday can hop on Saturday and learn from everybody that trains on any call that we do on a Saturday, a new trader experience. They're going to be a millionaire trader. That's my word. Nobody will touch the platform if they have not made $1 million trading. So this weekend, we have Stevenson Lindor. His product is Levels. We have Orrin Wright. His product is, Stevenson Lindor's product is Bounce Back. Orrin Wright product is Levels. Teacup Lou, Lizardo Tavares, his product is Gold Cup. Akil Bay, he's a swipe trader. So every week, every month, when you get new people started, guess what you're talking to them about? Yo, you got to be here on the end of the month, whatever the date is for the 30th, the 31st, the 29th, whatever it may be. You let them know from the day they join, because guess what that does? That gives them a longer term expectation. And then when they get off of the call, guess what they're going to do the next month? They're still going to be here. That's why the call was strategically placed at the end of the month. So that's going to happen every month. So when the flyer drops, which will be tomorrow, you want to make sure that you're sharing it all week. When new people join, you got to be on. This is 7-figure traders. It's not going to be something that's long and drawn out like a lot of the events that we have that's from 10 in the morning to 7 at night. No, it's going to be a focused 4 hours with 4 millionaires. Focus 4 hours with 4 millionaires who are taking out the time to teach our organization how to trade proficiently and effectively. So Akil Bay will be going over the trading plan. So Akil Bay has made over $10 million trading with a trading plan. He's created 15 millionaires with a trading plan. He'll be teaching on Saturday. Stevenson Lindor, he will be teaching on trading psychology, the psychology and the mindset behind trading. Teacup Lou will be teaching Gold Cup. And Oren Wright will be teaching levels and market structure, head and shoulders, all of that. He'll be teaching all of that. That's happening on Saturday. So when you see the flyer, you share it, let's pack out the lines, and let's show what it looks like to throw our very first new trader experience. This is an experience for customers. It's nothing about building a business. We talk enough about that. We want to create an experience for the customers to get started and see what this thing is like. So if you're fairly on the call, you don't care about building a business, make sure you're tapped in on Saturday. It's going to be on this particular link. The call maxes out at 1,000 people, right? So we have enough space, but that's happening on Saturday. So I'm going to drop the flyer tomorrow. Make sure you share with whatever group. I don't care if you share with other teams. This is the thing. It doesn't care who team they're on. I don't care. They could be in this group, that group, in Africa. It don't matter. Get new traders on the call. Get people that you want to see have success on the call. It doesn't matter the team. I don't care about that kind of stuff, because somebody else having success from what we do doesn't stop us from having success. That'll make sense later. But with that being said, I love you all. Let's have an amazing week. I will see each and every single one of you at the banks. God bless you, your family, and your dreams. Memphis, I'm coming to Memphis. I see y'all. I'll be up there soon. I'm coming to Memphis. All right, guys. Love you all.